Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Let me see. Do I know where the street is? I do not know where the street is. I don't think I know where it is. I know. Look, there's some allopathic medicine. I cannot believe that there is one woman was from Haiti and she is using her power. Someone gave her power to use to steal other people's things because we're African American in the United States of America, or is it because she works for a different government? That's why she works for Mexico. But they don't know that it's illegal to have a jurist in the wrong country. Oh gosh. These immigrants are too much. I want them to make sure that they know to stay off of my property. I do not care about whatever they're talking about. Whatever they're talking about has nothing to do with a bunch of people. And that's how the courts are supposed to work. You're supposed to be making decisions that affect a bunch of people, not for yourself in your household. Not for yourself to take away from somebody else. That's weird. Hi. I have another one. For Scarlet O. Thank you. And can you make sure that one has like a sticker on it? Okay, just because I have 2 orders.
Only one item.
Okay. Oh, it's only one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what it is. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, but I really think that they came out and decided to let these women speak and do what they want to do, and interrupt people's households and to be offensive to our human laws is because they're witches. That's what it is. They're a bunch of star witches. And there's nothing we can do about the Constitution of the laws that limit Haitians' rights in the state of Texas, which is because the consulate is closed, in Mexico because of our treaty laws. So, I mean, this Haitian woman is like the refugee of Haiti. But what she's supposed to understand is that all of her benefits that she's looking for, that she thinks black women have for her in black America, that's in Mexico, okay? That is not in the United States of America, okay? That's why she didn't win the last election, because she's confused and she's lost, okay? And her legal justice system, okay, is supposed to be in Haiti. I really wish that, you know, these governments would do better in tracking down their leaders, because they are trying to, I guess you could say, like jaywalk or something, you know, when you're like crossing the street when you're not supposed to, or they're trying to give themselves different jurisdictions that they're not allowed to do or to give, okay? And she sits in her seat of the committee, and she's talking to people. Okay, she's talking to people like she's got something to say, like she's always righteous, you know, like she's of the law. Okay, and then we see her trying to be in the bed getting high on drugs, you know, with somebody else's husband, because, you know what I'm saying, someone from Mexico is jealous, or because it's not fitting for her, but she needs to keep to her own people. Okay, her men, her people, whatever, her friends, they're all Haitian, because that's what they're all, I think they might be Black Panthers, okay, that pay for Haiti, and everything that they do is for Haiti. That's who she needs to stay with. I don't understand why, you know, we have these Haitian women who are supposed to be legal attorneys or working in our legal system here in the United States of America. Some of them are even House of Representatives. Don't blame the United States of America because, you know, you think that you're part of the British Army or something, okay? Because as soon as you say that you're part of the British Army and you were one of those that helped to burn down the White House many, many years ago, because that was the British, okay? And if we lifted up the blanket, it looked like that they were some black British, but they might have really had been from Haiti, okay? And so nobody wants to take anything from Haiti. Nobody wants to replace anything from Haiti, okay? We just need to make sure that, you know, the United States of America has all of its securities. No one has any personal problem with any Haitians, okay? The financial securities officers just need to make sure that we keep all of our belongings to ourselves. Why? Because that's the Haitians' law, okay? So Haiti keeps trying to take what this woman in Mexico keeps trying to take, but they need to tell her that in the Haiti Constitution, you don't give anything. You don't share anything, okay? But that's in Haiti, not in the United States of America, okay? So you don't give anything that belongs to Haiti in Haiti, okay? In the United States of America, whatever belongs to the United States of America has to stay with the United States of America, okay? Purpose, just like Haiti's, just like Mexico's, okay? There's nothing there. When you lift up the blanket, the woman with the green eyes are the ones who gave, who is the grantee, who's giving to the person that you keep bothering, okay? That is not your jurisdiction. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot give an order, you know, to take somebody's money because you think you're cuter, because you think you're younger, because you're friends with Mexico. Mexico, you lift up the blanket, it has no rights in the United States of America, okay? You yourself do not have any restitution for suffrage, okay? If you want to know about the laws, look up the blanket. We don't even give Haiti any money, so stop trying to offer your vagina, okay? Don't offer your pussy, don't offer your vagina, whatever it is. Keep it to yourself. Don't give it away. We don't care if you're bisexual. We don't care if you know the Sharia laws or whatever. We're Christian people. Lift up the blanket. The man's business is Christian. His brother and, you know, his brother's step family, they're all confused. Okay? Somebody needs to tell them to stop begging from the United States of America. Get a job. All right? That's what they need to do. They all need to get a job. Stop sitting around thinking that because somebody's rich, it belongs to you. No, it doesn't. I cannot believe that this man was probably trying to get away. My partner was probably trying to get away from all these people. Okay? And they still just act crazy by themselves. They just still act bizarre. If he doesn't want to share with you because he doesn't want to, you know, be across any illegal jurisdictions, that's the right way. Okay? Find yourself another service duty member to bother that you think is cute and sexy that you want to go to bed with, okay? From your constitution that has the same constitutional rights as you. Do not try to give something away to somebody, okay, who needs to be on punishment. And don't give out drugs. Don't sell your needles. Don't make them a client, because there's no drug dealers in the United States. They're supposed to be living in the house with the addict, okay, with the drug user, if that's what they're called, okay. There's nobody who's supposed to be living inside the house, because then that would be drug abuse. Then you're trying to have sex to make it so the person can remember to have drugs, okay, because maybe drugs is a constitution for you, for your body, okay. But you really need to try to slow down a little bit, because, you know what I'm saying, you're invading somebody else's privacy and private property. And people don't want you to think that you're alone, okay? They don't want you to think that you're alone, as you're supposed to be a crime watcher. How are you supposed to be the crime watcher and you're the one committing the crime? I've never heard anything like this in my entire life. And these are grown women, okay? So whomever gave these old women this constitution, this restitution, okay, to keep bothering people, okay, being inside their houses, whatever, okay, you need to find something else better to do with your time, really, okay, because that's not really what the argument needs to be about, okay. You don't need, because now what you're going to find out is that you're a criminal, okay, because we don't give a jurisdiction to take somebody else's property or to stay in somebody else's house because we want to say we don't like black American women, okay? That's not a reason to discriminate. Oh yeah, I forgot, Haiti discriminates, okay? There's no reason for you to discriminate. Just because, you know, you want to talk about Haiti so much, okay, you should tell the United States of America government that you want to give back their money, okay? Because you just want to talk about Haiti and discriminate. I can't believe one of these days the police are going to get tired. They're going to get really, really tired. They don't want. I thought that they were trying to make it so that way they could say, hey, we want Americans in a house with their families when they're sickly. No, you want to try to show up and act like you're the family. I was watching and waiting to see how long it was going to take for you to remember again, okay, that I'm somewhere and those men are somewhere. Well, really, it's none of your business. Why? Because you're not reporting anything to Congress. Okay? You're really not. You're not reporting that you're seeing something. You know, you're not reporting any of the crimes. Okay? You're not a real security guard. You know, you think that you're hanging out and you're having a good time with people. They should not feel comfortable. Why do you feel comfortable hanging out with someone who's supposed to tell on you? Okay, you do not tell that you're smuggled in You don't tell that you see Mexicans that are smuggled into the United States of America. You're not even telling, and they're just sitting here watching you cross the borderline. Nobody's reporting that they see you either. Okay, and you think that because someone's not calling me that something's wrong. You need to fill in. You don't need to fill in for anything. Okay, because you don't really know what my agreement is. Okay, so you just need to really mind your business. All right, because it doesn't look like what you think it is. For me, it's not what it looks like what you think it is. You understand that? Because at the end of the day, everybody has to work. Okay, at the end of the day, nobody wants anybody begging from anybody. Nobody wants to think that someone is benefiting from them. Why? Because they're not even giving them a job. Okay, if a person wants to think that somebody is, in their right civil liberty, okay, to have a good time with their belongings, they would give them a job. They would say, hey, I want to hire you. Okay, I want to hire you. I want to give you a job. So that way you have your own benefits. Why? Because I need to live my life. And I don't want to be worried about your life. Okay? So you didn't even know that you should have tried to help people to be in contract. So that way, they're not stressing themselves out. So that way people can think and feel like, that there's a reason for them to get up every single day. Not to make them so that they'll start fighting. Okay? People are fighting over their own property. People are fighting because they don't want their happiness to go to somebody else. Okay? I mean, really, you should have done better. You should have been, what do they call that? You should have been a mediator. Okay? But instead, you decided to go there and to create more violence. You said, these are some, you probably think that they're stupid fools. You're like, these are some stupid fools. I'm going to give them some drugs. And you sitting there watching people get high off of drugs. Why would you sit there and watch people get high off of drugs like they're bugs? Okay? I cannot believe, people did not have a drug addiction, and then you just came in and give a drug addiction. And now everybody has to come in and say, well, what was it that you thought you was doing? Because you're upset now about something. Now you're upset because somebody's telling you don't need to sell your drugs anymore, or something else changed. But why was you trying to sell your drugs in the first place? Okay? Because we're not legalizing drugs in the State Department. You're not legalizing drugs in the federal department. I mean, whatever's happening with President Trump, you see, look, they're shooting guns. Okay? Because you cannot go and change the Constitution by yourself. One person is not the voter. Okay? It's not the voting right for 200 voters. And this is the stuff that people have to deal with. This is the jurisdictions that people have to deal with. They have to deal with this craziness from these people. Just because they're brown skinned. I mean, really? Just because you think that your fake booty is a cute ass for somebody, I just don't get it. Like, really? You shouldn't be offered anything to anybody's animals. You shouldn't be offered them money. You shouldn't be offered them food. You shouldn't offer them drugs. You shouldn't offer them anything. Why? Because you won't tell anybody that that's really what you're doing. And if you know that the animals themselves have problems, well, then that's a crime scene. Why do you want to help criminals? No, you don't want to be no. Why? Because there's somebody that's upset that's their decision. You don't see a bunch of people mad that they want to sit around and play pretend with themselves all day and have sex with themselves all day as family members. You don't think that makes people upset? That people are giving themselves illegal jurisdictions because they want to say that they were prosperous. Prosperous for what? From the United States of America's money? I mean, really? You woke up and you got a job and that's what made you prosperous. Okay? It wasn't like you just took money off the shelf. No, you had to get up and go to work and work hard every single day. Okay? You had to get up and work hard every single day for that. So I do not know why people want to sit there and act like that there's a benefit there for them. There's no real benefit there for you. It's nothing good to be happy about, to be yaying about. You have to work hard for everything that you have. Okay? And even suffering sometimes, making someone suffer. Okay? Because they have to wait for something, for a change, or they have to wait for some moonshine to come over. Okay? Doesn't matter what you think it is. You should not want to be the person that made other people cry because they had to wait. That's really mean, because people are going through something emotional and they have to wait, and you think it's because you gave an order. Why would you think that it's your juris duty to give an order to keep somebody away from their family member because you're not involved in the contract? Okay? The contract is for that man's business. The contract has nothing to do with Haiti. Okay? It has nothing to do with Haiti. It has nothing to do with the United States of America's government. That contract was something that he wanted to do. Okay? So yes, you did know him, or yes, you did know of him, but he made that contract by himself. For himself. No, you were not the chosen one. Okay? And you're never going to be the chosen one, because you have to write it down. The chosen one doesn't have to write it down. Okay? The chosen one doesn't have to manipulate the system. Okay? It's not like, you're a tree and someone decided to go and pick up the tree from Home Depot and put it into the ground. You don't qualify. Okay? You do not qualify to be the tree that's being picked up. Why? Because you don't. Okay? Because he already has what he needs. You might be mad about it, but that's what he chose. Okay? That was a decision that he made between him and his boys. Okay? Him and his boys. That was a choice that they made. They made it together that person, okay, who is not you, okay, was the trusting friend, not you. Okay? You didn't get the job. You were there, but you didn't get the job. Why? Because it wasn't offered to you. Let me see if it's ready. It wasn't offered to you. Hi, I have a pickup for Laura C. Okay. Hi. I have a pickup for Laura C.
Me la garganta.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's a tower, a kid's quesadilla, sour cream side, and a michelada. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And so, people just need to get into the right reverence for yourself. Okay? Don't get into the reverence for someone else. Get into the reverence for yourself. Why? Because I don't understand why, Haiti's president isn't there anymore. They have a council, and now they're all governed by a council and a judge. Okay? You can do all that craziness and ruin all those women's lives. They got a whole bunch of handsome singers and dancers and everything else in Haiti. Okay? You don't need to do that here in the United States of America. I don't know why someone would agree to be mean, to citizens and tell them that they're hated for something that never happened. Okay? You lift up the blanket, it never happened. Okay? But no, what it is because someone else is pretending, that you need to be Haitian, for them to probably share an opportunity. A person who don't even have a real job. A person who doesn't really have a real job, who's supposed to really give themselves a real jurisdiction. So if you know that somebody isn't the real business owner, you're not really supposed to be trying to help them with any conspiracies. Why? Because at any given moment, the employer could just pull the rug from under their feet and say, I'm not giving you nothing no more, Jim. Okay? I'm not giving you nothing no more. Why? Because you keep trying to set me up. Okay? You keep trying to set me up. You keep begging. You know what I'm saying? You keep thinking that my things are your things. Okay? And really, it's only supposed to be a percentage, but she should double check. Because the percentage might have already been spent. Okay? He might have had a percentage, even if it was another guy who's Haitian, who's the man's partner. Okay, whatever percentage those people already have from their business agreements on paper, they bought a house. Okay, so when you decide to buy a house, that's it. That all your money is gone. You have to find a new way to get money. Okay, you use the opportunity by trying to create new contracts, new jobs. Okay, you say, oh wow, look, you are really, really smart. Okay, if they don't want to be functional, and you don't want to be functional, you just want to be obsessed and help to sell drugs, get out of there. Why? Because we don't legally allow people to sell drugs in the United States of America. Not like that. Okay, especially not from a law enforcement. Okay, because if it's not already agreed by the FDA, then we're not supposed to be thinking to enforce a law, like as if we're going to give a test. All right, Dallas has, test centers. Okay, yes, we're all in Dallas, so there's no illegal jurisdiction unless you're coming here from Haiti or unless you're coming here from Mexico. And that's what I'm trying to say. Or unless you're coming from Massachusetts or some other place. Okay, those are illegal jurisdictions, traveling, looking for property or looking for organs, looking for, a man's body part, looking for a mate. Okay, that's illegal to cross the state border lines. That's what I'm saying. So really, you don't even need to be doing all the stuff that you're doing anyways. Okay, you do a lot. You be working a lot for no reason at all. And then you're traveling, probably, with Mexico's drugs. I do not like that there's somebody that's loose, loosey-goosey, and they're sitting up here enforcing drugs. I can't believe somebody wants to see people wiggling all over the floor or just laying there and just not even, I can't even believe that someone would even have a secret like that. And other people, there's other lawyers there's other attorneys there's militant soldiers there. I cannot believe that they're just sitting there watching this foreign immigrant woman bring drugs onto the sports field or wherever, okay, when doping's illegal, okay, and the man never thinks to himself and says, oh, this might be a competitor who might be trying to get me out the game. Okay, so don't ask him for no money. Why? Because you helped him get out the game. Okay, you do not care about anything. You weren't even supposed to, because you know what that means? That means that whomever it was that was a reference, that means that when they see somebody, you know, they could do whatever they want to them. That's what it means. You completely endanger people. And so that means that if they see somebody that you know, they could just do whatever they want to them. Not a child, okay, an adult like you chose, someone who is old enough and able to understand, or maybe not. Maybe they're listed as having special needs, because that person was listed as having special needs, and instead you went there and decided to hurt their body. That was humanly cruel, and there's no protective services at all. None. That's why I'm trying to figure out, why are the people who are hurting the people's bodies the ones who are calling protective services on people, but no one is there to protect, to arrest them, because they're really the criminals. No adult protective services there at all. And you can keep telling people to be responsible. That is not how you are being responsible. You don't use a reference of people. You don't try to, legally get people sued. Just like what just like in that Michael Jackson film. Okay? Someone offered them to go on tour. Now his hair burns on fire. That is strange. Okay, to someone else that might look like it's a criminal scene. It just depends on who you ask. Because if you didn't want to go, all you had to do was say no, but then you said no and somebody said no, you still got to go anyways. So now you're creating all of these injuries to say, oh, I need insurance. I need insurance liability. And nobody ever thought to ask this person or this woman if she has insurance liability and to press charges against her to stop her. But yes, she keeps always getting into, I think I do see her getting into trouble with the law, but her mind doesn't think that, like, she doesn't have the right intelligence. Okay, she doesn't have the intelligence that she's supposed to let go. You don't think that you're bullying somebody and the other person is supposed to let go. Why would somebody let go of somebody if they know that they have an injury now from somebody else that's using their name as a reference? I don't know. And the police are so stupid, because you let her find the address. You let her come in with some check, okay, with some money from somewhere, probably from her political party, who thinks that there's an investment there. Okay, you let her go there with her check and think that it was okay for her to have a jurist right to go and, and be around people with her drugs. Well, it wasn't okay. It is not okay. Okay, that is humanly cruel. And that makes absolutely no sense at all. None whatsoever. I cannot believe that, someone is criminal to someone who's not criminal to them. Okay, and I don't like that, someone else is so upset by somebody else's opportunities that they just have to, just have to be cruel. Okay, you just have to be cool. You have to think that you're the winner of some kind of game or some kind of fight. There could just never be peace. Hello.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Nice breeze over here, huh?
I'm sorry?
Nice breeze over
Yeah.
here. Mm-hmm.
It's humid, but the breeze is saving us.
Yeah, they're from the trees. So I'm gonna just have you sign, and then I'll take a picture. Let me just have you sign that.
Sure. For work.
Okay, let me just take a little picture. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, bye bye. Good evening. Afternoon. Oh, it's afternoon. Good evening. Good afternoon. All right. Hold on. Let me put that on hold for a second because this one is kind of different. Let's see if I can get the mouse. Even though you can't. What time was this supposed to be there, right? Okay. All right, having a good time. You go, girl. I still can't figure that out. And I do not like that this Haitian woman, thinks that if you have, a lot of money in the family, that you have some to spare for her. Not like she's, gonna raise her, not like she's writing a letter or, sending a proposal or sending a request. She just thinks that she could just show up and be a part of the family. Like somebody just really needs her. Nobody needs another woman. Okay, I'm my own leader. Okay, and my family is set up a certain way because that's the way we want it to be. It's none of your business. Okay, and I do not care about any crying Mexicans because, like I told you already, you don't have any suffering laws. That's from his brother's family or somebody else's, business, constitutional right. That is not a right for the United States of America. Okay, but these people who get hired by these Mexicans, they think that they, can help them do, commit crimes, and it's like, no, the law is still the same. Okay, the law is still the same. It didn't change. Just because you see that people are, in the same neighborhoods together, nope, the law's still the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. That is a democracy for somebody. Okay, they're using someone else for democracy. Okay, why do you want to be the person who gets arrested for a democracy that we're not even supposed to use? Okay, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for Haitian women, okay, to always be so upset, or for Haitian men to be so upset. Okay, you are from island. Okay, you have your own economics. You have your own, your own society. Okay, that you can stay to yourself with. Okay, but every society has African people. Some families have mixed. Some families have Haitians and Africans. in their family. But we don't separate them and say, oh, well, one gets to see the other and not the other. No, you don't need to separate anything. No, because there's nothing that happened there. There's nothing that happened there, okay? Because the person's going to tell you that they was going to ask for somebody to protect them from somebody else, okay? But whatever that business is that's going on between them and the courts, I have nothing to do with that, okay? If that man lied and he knows he's borrowing Haiti's money, I have nothing to do his business. I have nothing to do with that. If that man decided that he had married, a Haitian woman, I have nothing to do, and that was a crime to the United States. I have nothing to do with that. Why? That is a problem for the Securities Exchange. Okay, or a court officer who actually cares, I don't know, who's doing some type of jurisdictions or something. We don't need anybody from the federal government trying to enforce laws, fighting, giving a democracy, raising their hand, protesting, okay, for things that we already said is not supposed to exist, like you, okay, or any Mexican person, okay? We don't need you to do that. We only told you that the rightful way, the rightful strike is to leave the American citizens alone. Okay? We're not taking things out, premeditating nothing in advance and nothing else. Why? Because we don't need to there's nothing to premeditate. Okay? You can't premeditate anything. There's nothing wrong. Okay? But Haiti's the only country who has international problems. We torture when we say it's illegal. We say no mercenaries. We still have mercenaries on the ground, still working, looking for crime, making trouble. Okay, people should give people back their money. Do not keep taking money to violate somebody's human rights. Okay, because we said that man was supposed to be rich. So if we said that he was supposed to be rich and he has a grant from somebody else is given to him for him to have extra money, okay, already he doesn't need to take anything from anybody, because guess what? He's not taking anything else from her. Okay? So it's not a right. If you want to pay, like she's going to the zoo or something like that, it has to be a public thing. You got to meet where other people have to pay too. Okay, it needs to be like a public event where other people have to pay too. You don't just make one person privately pay who's an animal or who wants to give out needles and create a disease. Okay, to create a restitution for her to find a way to get her money back. I mean, really, that's not even a I don't know what that is. Okay, that's not really a social gathering. You're going to punish somebody. It's like an executionist meeting. You're going to punish somebody because they told you to pay, or you're going to punish them because you don't like the way that they do their business and you just want to be annoying. Guess what? It's not the right way. If they ask me, I would say, give her back her money. Why? Because he doesn't need to take money for him to become a drug addict. Okay? He doesn't need to take money that wasn't given to him with good intention. That means that the person didn't want to meet him. It's just like, giving somebody a Purple Heart. Now it's like a fact. Oh, he got the Purple Heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else. It's not nobody else is celebrated for having a Purple Heart. We don't celebrate giving people a Purple Heart. Okay? I can't believe that the military really let someone go on, live TV to nationalize someone to give them a Purple Heart. That's weird. In the United States of America. During wartime. That meant that he was supposed to get prosecutions. Okay, from his family member. or his partner, whoever he's doing business with. Why? Because you don't go on national television and tell people that you're going to decide to betray the United States of America or decide to betray someone with a Purple Heart. Okay, that's not a restitution to receive, properties from the American citizens. We have antitrust laws. Nobody thought that was kind of weird and strange. Said I was going to be there sooner. Must have gave me some different directions. And I don't know why somebody would want the United States of America to have, traitors or people to betray someone during wartime. That's kind of weird.